something.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this,
You forget to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever, whenever, however you all are. Welcome to Toxic Tuesday, episode 163. I think I may be wrong, but it's like, actually, no, it's 164. But it is a pleasure of divine greatness to see you all tonight. Welcome, guys. Let's acknowledge those amazing faces in our chat. Davina Duckworth, Jeremy Winfield, Void King, Pulp Metallicus the First, Dave C, Tornadoes, Darth Viewer. Yeah. How's it going? Those dudes commented. Jonathan Conroy, 11 Alpha. Hey, what's going on? Look at D-Bud Martin, DJ Play Nice. Hell yeah, gentlemen. I said, and Unfolding Joker is hanging out on Rumble as well. You love to see that happen. We're speaking of Rumble. I'm going to put the Rumble link in the chat because by now you guys know the game. You transition with us, hour and 10, hour and 15 into the show. Oh, look, Anthem 21X dropped by too. And Caleb Levine. What's up, dudes? All right, this is the Rumble link for when we transition hour 10, hour 15 to show, where we can play the clips and the strips. But guys, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This is kind of like a long time, like in the making. Strip, a long time. How do we not get this sooner? But between this, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, it's like, whoa. We didn't do this sooner? Yeah, we didn't do this sooner. But here we are. What's up, Steve Mitchum? We're here. We're going to come big. It's going to be great. It's going to be diabolical. It's going to be huge. And I mean huge. All right, dudes. Let's bring in some of our dudes here. Like, we got this one guy who I brought in here. His name is Napoleon Bonaparte. And hi, Napoleon Bonaparte. My name is Socrates.
Well, all I can say is that I can give you the greatest piece of philosophical advice ever given in the history of humanity.
And
all we are is dust in the wind.
Oh, whoa.
No one has ever said anything as profound ever before or since. I mean, that just solves everything when you hear that.
It does solve everything. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Napoleon. I get my name from Socrates.
Yes. So crates. Milk crates. So crates.
Milk.
Yes. I just
Deep
try to pronounce
COVID.
my name as if I'm from the valley. So I'm as far from as I could be. I'm
Oh.
short though, so it works. Not short as comics and culture, obviously, but
Oh no, those guys are like they're not they're not that short. They're just like kind of short.
I
I've
don't
been
know. I
around
think they
both
could have
in
been cast
person.
in the Time Bandits, if you ask me. But never mind.
Well, they're just not as tall. And yes, guys, I've been
No
around them
way.
both in person. They are both the same height. I know there's this whole thing about no, I'm tall, I know I'm tall. Comics can at least say, okay, I know I'm the same height as Culture. Culture is not taller than Comics Division, no matter
No,
how much he wants to
they're both
try and
equally
spin it.
diminutive.
It's BS. It's bull crit. Don't buy it. Don't do it. Okay.
Don't smell it.
Definitely don't smell it. Do not smell it. Do not smell it. Let's see here. I keep this going. Help get
Bodacious.
to Vegas. All right, chat. As per usual for the month of February, totally optional. Almost, I'd say like 40% of the way there now. Actually, I actually gained quite a bit of money. So this is the Help Get Nick to Vegas, and there, if you can do it, great. If not, just enjoy your stay and enjoy the show because ultimately that's what matters. So I'm putting the link right there in the chat to hopefully
Wait,
get those goals going. So
people are meant to enjoy this show.
people are
That's a
meant to
weird
actually enjoy the
idea.
show.
That's
Like,
weird.
believe it or not, that's like a thing. Like, I
No
want
way.
people to actually enjoy being here and enjoy having their time here. Like, what a concept, isn't that?
I don't understand the concept.
Well,
don't get it.
maybe one day you'll get there. One guy who
Yeah.
gets it, we pull him from the back door, and it's really like really gay, but he's a backdoor kid. Billy, Mr. the Kid.
No, Billy's the backdoor kid.
Careful now.
How you doing, backdoor man?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this. I'm leaning over to read what you said.
Are you trying to reach around it?
But I can't. I guess I can with this hand. I don't know how to do it. I'm not good with the left hand.
Is
Oh,
that your
guy.
strong hand or your weak hand?
That's my weak hand.
I'm gonna
which
use my
hand do you
strong
reach around
hand.
with?
I'm a power top with this hand.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's a divine pleasure to see you from the back to the front. Okay.
Yay!
Yay. Thank you for being
You're
here,
very well
sir.
groomed.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here. Yay!
So happy.
I win.
Real quickly, Darth is asking, are you saying culture consists? No, he's telling a huge lie. Like, Nine Inch Nails wrote a song about it. It's called Terrible Lie. And yeah, that's what that song is about. How culture is lying about him.
No, I think it is a little lie.
I wrote a sequel to that song. It's called Amazing Truth.
All right, very good. It's the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
You opposited it.
Oh, we got George Carlin in the house. It's Mr. Rufus, who almost was Sean Connery.
Almost.
Greetings, excellent friends.
Where is he? Oh, there he is.
Party on.
Later.
I'm here to help you with your Toxic Tuesday show.
How's it hanging?
Oh,
no, that's
you
what they say
are?
is so great.
Is this like you're helping me get ready for my homework?
I'm going to take you back in time and show you how Bill and Ted became a movie.
No way.
Bogus.
This way.
Way.
Bogus.
Whoa. Well, Rufus, this is going to be a very tantalizing pleasure to be around you tonight. I feel touched already. Thank you for taking the time to be
That
here.
was Gary that touched. That's why you feel touched already.
Yeah.
I'm so great. This is Billy the
I'm
Backdoor
reaching right
Kid, And this is
From my screen
Napoleon
into
bowed
yours.
her apart.
Let me tell you about the 7 words you can't say in the future.
Well, thank you for being here, Rufus. We got another guy. He doesn't have a name yet, but he should be Joan of Arc.
Yeah. Well, here's
He should be
my
Joan of Arc.
here's my 3D print for the week.
Oh,
Is that most excellent or
hey,
what?
I'm embiggening you. What's up, RJ?
Nice.
Hey, RJ. Yep. So you can.
Oh,
This is like
that's
you can put this in like a door
nice.
frame or something and hang it up
Yeah.
over your
Oh,
door. So
yeah.
yeah. So maybe it'll fit. Well, let's see. Bill and Ted fit right there. I guess. Yeah. Next to Spidey. There we go.
Oh, that's
the most
nice.
excellent
Nice.
use of the 3D printer. Oh, come on.
Oh, it didn't want you to get it up.
No. Yeah. Well, I gotta strap.
Some
I gotta figure out a
things
way to
just like
strap
to
something
stay
on.
down. Strap it on.
Yeah, I gotta strap this on somehow. Yep. I'll figure that out during the show. Maybe Gerry will help me with the strap on.
I think Billy the Backdoor Kid is really, I think he must be sweating over the fact that he's watching you getting your sign up and knowing that you're trying to like not keep it down.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very
Billy,
difficult.
he must be whacking it fast. Well, how you doing, Mark?
I'm doing good. It's freaking like 12 degrees outside now, but other than that, I'm
What are
doing
you
good.
complaining about? It's 35 centigrade below here. I don't know. It's like minus 30 Fahrenheit or something. It's
Yeah, but we
I'm
don't
not
want you
kidding.
Canadians as part of the U.S., right? No, you're in Texas.
you want
not anymore.
Alberta. Alberta, come on.
We want Alberta, right? Yeah. Ooh,
Forget the
super
rest.
chat.
Well, you can have Saskatchewan too, because they're the good parts.
Well, Tornadoes comes in hot for $10. Thank you, Tornadoes. Appreciate that. He says,
Wow.
I've seen George Collin in person. Security removed a heckler, and George told him to get cancer. Comedy was very crass. LOL, but still was cool. Damn right, that's cool, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. I love to see that, Tornadoes. Thank you for the $10, man. Cheers and beers to you, sir. My fellow wild stallion, Tornadoes.
So who's going to be Joan of Arc tonight? Noah's wife.
I guess the chat is our arc, but
I love
we're
that.
missing her husband. We're missing her husband, Noah. Though.
Husband Noah. Yeah. Fucking great comeback by Clue people. Yeah. Oh my god.
I wish I thought of that line. That's one of those things. I'm like,
That's
man,
great.
I wish I said that in class, type of thing.
Yeah, what was the teacher going to say? The teacher's like, yeah, that was a pretty good answer.
The only thing you guys have seemed to learn this year is that Caesar is a salad dressing dude.
That is a classic. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I still laugh my ass off at that damn line to this day. And Caesar is a
Salad, yeah.
And they look at him like he's not.
So what else could it be?
I
That's
totally had his salad last week.
The only true wisdom consists in knowing that you know nothing.
That's us, dude. Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
Oh,
how?
Lord.
I mean, I know Gerry loves to be intimate and up close with other guys. So you would have loved being in that phone booth, right? You would have gotten a lot of.
he would have gotten
Back-
hot and sweaty in that booth.
I
Man.
would've
The
been-
phone
I would've
booth
been
was well
arrested.
known for how smelly it was. Yes.
I mean,
Didn't Alex Winter call it the deathbed or something like that?
Well, okay. So there's a couple different booths, but the main one that they used that they crammed everybody in was like, yeah. And he finally realized, he thought that Keanu was being, gracious and letting him be in front of him when they would get in the booth because he was shorter, so he would be seen on screen. Oh, no, he realized he was just there just in case the door didn't want to shut right. He was a shield, he said. Because they would cram themselves in there, and he literally had like 6-7 guys in there just nuts to
Did they
butts.
make like a bigger? Did they make like a bigger phone booth? So like, I mean, it's like they could have picked.
There is
originally
two,
was a
I think,
van, right?
I think
And
there's
there was
two other
originally a van.
bigger, yeah, I think there's two other bigger phone booths because like the one that you see on the side where they're all standing in it sideways,
Yeah.
That is actually like almost twice the size of a real phone booth.
Well, do you know how many dudes they were able to fit up to the phone booth for this movie?
I'm
9
trying to remember.
dudes.
I was gonna say I think it's at like 8 or 9, but like,
Yeah,
well,
9
Napoleon's
dudes.
not in there throughout the whole
He's
show.
No,
short,
he's
though.
not.
Short, though.
Obviously,
So-
for obvious reasons, because he was the first one they brought to the present time, of course. No, I did find this from IMDb. Apparently, there is an actual world record for the amount of people crammed in a phone booth at 25 people in a single phone booth.
No
Well, that's kind of
way,
where they got
dude.
the idea, which is okay. So you brought up the van. So this story actually starts when Ed Sullivan and Matheson, the other guy, the two writers, were in college. Okay, so they came up with Bill and Ted, and there actually was a third character, I believe, named Chris or something
Bob,
like that.
I think it was Bob.
Bob, that was it. So there was the other friend was with them, and they would do this just on like just around, like they would just hang around and do the Bill and Ted voices with each other. So it was just kind of a thing they would do, and
It was
then
a
they
comedy
finally,
bit kind of thing. Yeah.
and then they finally did it as a comedy bit because Ed was actually part of a comedy troupe, and I think at that point it was just Bill and Ted because the other guy had dropped off, and all they did was they stood up on stage and they took questions from the audience, and they'd be like, "Well, what do you think of Sigmund Freud?" Well, Sigmund Freud was like, and they do this whole like Bill and Ted spiel. And so that's kind of where it started. And they kind of came up with this concept. They wrote an 80-page script. And in it, the big major difference, other than it just being basically a shorter version of what we got, kind of, is that Rufus was a completely different kind of character. He was a 34-year-old sophomore or something like that? Or
He was a young
freshman?
dude.
No, he was actually old,
Younger.
but the joke is that he was like a 30-year-old freshman. Like that was the
Okay.
whole joke. But he rolled around in this van and shit, and then the guys found out that he was actually this guy from the future, and he was there to help them, and so that part was still the same, but it was in a van. So at that point, it was no big deal, and also it made sense because they were trying to be in a band. They would roll around in a van, all that kind of stuff. When Back to the Future came out, and they're like, "Well, shit, what do we do?" Well, it turns out there was this thing at that time where I don't know, maybe Mark can talk a little bit about this because you would have been in college around that time, probably. Where I guess there was this thing around colleges where they would try to cram as many kids as they could in a phone booth and take a picture, and that was the big thing. So that's, I guess, where the idea came from to turn it into a phone booth.
Is there any nod to Doctor Who at all? Given that
No, actually, that came later. Like they didn't even
Right.
realize the connection until later on. I
because
guess.
strictly
Like,
speaking, that was a police box, not a phone box. It did have
Right,
phone in
well,
it, but it wasn't.
and so you guys
got
got to remember back then, like Doctor Who was primarily on like PBS and shit.
PBS.
That was
So,
obscure.
like-
Yeah, it was an obscure show. Yeah. I mean, it was the Tom Baker hit in the 80s, with the late 70s, early
Yeah.
80s. So, but you had to be a real geek and a nerd to know.
and it
Doctor
wasn't
Who.
strictly speaking a phone box
Yeah.
exclusively.
No, it was purely coincidence though. After
Yeah.
the fact, like I mean, they like to say it would be cool if we could have said, yeah, we were paying homage to
Yeah, they
Doctor
weren't
Who.
aware. They weren't aware. Yeah, They should have
Because
just
it's funny
lied.
because that movie does have a bit of a British. Like, here's the funny thing about the movie: even though Bill and Ted are quintessential California teens,
Yeah.
the movie is basically like if Bill and Ted fell into a Monty Python movie.
Well, it has
I can
shades of
definitely
that,
see
with
the
Joan
Monty
of Arc.
Python-ness of
Joan
this
of
ball. I
Arc and
definitely
all.
noticed that.
Yeah. So it kind of has that tone that would have worked in a way. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
It does, doesn't it? If you think
Did
about
you
it.
ever
By
get
the way,
Tom? Oh, go ahead.
Hannah
Gerry.
watched it for the first time today,
Mhm.
and she laughed her ass off at this. She really enjoyed it, and I'm always nervous showing her films I really love.
Mhm.
Like, oh my god,
What
she's
if she
gonna
doesn't
hate
like
this.
it?
Yeah,
So-
oh my god, it'll break my heart. She loved it.
It's funny you mentioned that Backdoor, because Billy the Kid, because I actually had my kids watch it with me for their first time.
Get the name right. It's Billy the Backdoor Kid. Come on, this is rocket science, for God's sakes.
And my oldest is like, so that's where you say that line from all the time. The
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Now I say whoa all the time.
Whoa.
She's like,
Whoa.
oh, that's where that came from.
Well, that's
And-
Keanu Reeves, pure and
and
simple.
she was so good. Like, she's like, what's going on? This movie's so weird. What's all these weird looking people? Then she started catching on. Oh, okay. That's Abraham Lincoln. That's Joan of Arc. Okay,
Well-
this is a project. And then her and her younger sister got it. It was funny to see them be so confused, but more confusing to was the lingo between Bill and Ted, but they caught on. Like what's bodacious? I had to explain.
Well, they kind of
bodacious-
created their own speak in a way. It was a mix between Valley surf and just shit that Ed and Chris made up. Right.
Yeah, and they also had their guttural reactions to things that aren't words that they understood the meaning of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had like the shorthand between the two. Like that was their whole thing. Was like, you know how twins have kind of like their own language.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be kind of like, you know, and it was at the time. Kids were, and there was like this totally tubular kind of surf
Valley
talk,
Girl,
kind of penetrating the culture at the time.
And it's
You know all about penetrating culture.
Well,
You would know about
cowabunga
that.
was a bit like people like to
culture. Sorry,
people like to attribute that word to the Ninja Turtles. It was like, oh no, that was around. That was a surfer word and all that kind
Gary,
of stuff.
was that you, Gary? Did you penetrate culture?
He always penetrates culture.
I'm always fantasizing.
But it's
about
funny
it.
that they keep bringing up Eddie Van Halen because Eddie Van Halen almost played Rufus.
I was gonna say
Like, he
I
was
heard
one of the
about
people
him
that
almost
came
being
very
Rufus. I
fucking
wish.
close.
Here's the thing I've always wondered, Tom, who did the guitar work for Rufus?
I
I
think it was
wondered
Stevie
if
Ray.
that
George Carlin.
I think it was
Just
Stevie
kidding.
Vai. Steve
Was it
Vai
Stevie
or
Ray? 'Cause whoever
No, it was
was
Steve
knew
Vai,
how to
I think it
fucking
was,
do
who
those
did
licks.
because he also did the guitar work for the second film. I could be wrong. I'd have to look it up. But
Steve Vai's so good.
yeah, I
Oh,
think it was.
so good.
Um,
Go ahead.
but yeah, no, they didn't even know who Rufus was going to be until they already started filming. Because they just had no idea. They couldn't. Billy D. Williams almost was Rufus at one point.
That would
have been awesome too.
Yeah, that
And
actually
then
would have been really
It just
good.
happened to be happenstance that they just came up with, like, somebody had mentioned Carlin and somebody knew his agent. So that was just like a shot in the dark kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just as soon as somebody
Wasn't
brought up
Eddie too
Carlin,
expensive?
well, they came close, but I think part of it was they were on tour at the time, and there was some other shit. Like he was like almost really close to being like it was almost like like as far as I understand, like the contracts were written out. The only thing that was
No
getting in the
green
way was
M&Ms.
tour and all that kind of other stuff was, and I don't think it had anything to do with cost. Even though this movie was made for $1.05 and a beer. Right, I mean, people need to understand. Okay, so when this movie got picked up, it got picked up by Dino De Laurentiis, and it was technically the last OG Dino De Laurentiis film released. Although it wasn't released by Dino De Laurentiis because they went bankrupt. Then Nelson Entertainment picked it up, and Orion picked up distribution later on. But that's a whole nother story we'll get to in a bit.
Oh,
But
dude,
so
but you're
so
right,
the movie
though,
started
because
shooting.
Your timing of bringing that up lines up with what we found out about the news about Red Sonja yesterday. It just goes to show you, sadly, how these movies that get filmed, get made, and then sometimes they don't get picked up. If they do, they get picked up by a studio not in America, and you hope to get picked up in America. And it's lucky that this movie got saved because they did some test screens and
Yeah, that's
California
basically
for
what
it.
happened. It was on the shelf. It was going to get shelved. The only reason it was going to come out at all was they had a deal with I think that somebody said HBO, but it was on Showtime. So I wonder if it was a Showtime deal. Either way, they had the cable deal. So like, well, we can cash in on that. We'll just send the movie over there, put it out on video. And so it was going to be basically straight to cable / video movie. Well, then they did this test screening, and the infamous test screening, the motherfucker tested through the roof. Like it just was like one of the highest test screenings they ever did. So they're like, okay, what are we going to do? So they hooked up with Orion, and it was a movie that probably saved Orion's ass for a few years. Because they, if anybody knows what happened to Orion not too long after this, like they limped along with a couple of RoboCop movies and Bill and Ted 2, and then they died, right? Like with RoboCop 3.
Logo.
What was that?
I miss their logo.
Yeah,
it made me sad.
Yeah.
I
So
just wanted
anyhow, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to wanted to interject with a point of order. It actually wasn't Stevie Vai. I had a feeling it wasn't. A guy called Stevie Salas played the guitar.
Was it?
He's a Stevie Salas.
I've always wondered who did the guitar work.
Yeah, he's a fairly big session guy and has been in other various bands. But he's one of these guys who's highly rated, but nobody knows who he is.
Can you pause it here for a second, Mark?
All right.
Sure, yep. Oh, what was the Red
That's high
Sonja news?
school.
I know that was a few minutes ago, but what was the Red Sonja news that I missed?
Basically, a similar fate might be happening real quickly. A similar fate Red Sonja might be suffering, where her movie got picked up by a UK studio, but the possibility of it being picked up for an American studio may or may not ever happen.
Interesting. Yeah.
If yeah, Tom and Andre posted a video about it yesterday, and it's really unfortunate because Solomon Kane suffered a similar fate, and these are obviously movies that people are going to look at.
It deserves a wider opening than just one of these limited releases and straight to video.
Yeah, you would know all about wider openings, but
goddamn right. By the way,
so
I just want to point this out before you go, so he can push play. I know this school because that's where all my siblings graduated.
Wow.
That's Coronado High School, Scottsdale, Arizona, which is metropolitan Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say they shot the movie in Phoenix. They didn't shoot it in California, believe it or not.
I believe it.
The air conditioners on the roof a couple of times and the saguaro cactus. You know you're in Phoenix area.
All right, so we got The Dead Man, which, by the way, thank you for your patience, sir. For $1.99,
Computers, man.
He says, Sandina's high school football rules.
It's changed everything.
And then we got another one from Tornadoes for another 10. Thank you. Says, what happened, other guy? Tom Hanks and George Michaels move on, but not psychic. Wonder about other pair half if they became famous. What am I missing here?
Each one of those, only one part of the duo got famous, the other half didn't.
Right. Okay.
You know what's funny about this? Ted is the one carrying all the fucking books.
Oh, yeah.
And they would work these kind of things out. So to get to these guys, so the big thing was who do we cast as Bill and Ted? Right. So
yes,
to rewind back a little bit before George Carlin even came close to being in the picture, they tested all sorts of kids. But for some reason, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, whenever they would test, the different groups of kids together, when those guys were just not auditioning with other kids, they were hanging out in the waiting room, and the producers noticed that. And then, unbeknownst to them, the writers ran into them separately at McDonald's.
What?
And so they were sitting at McDonald's and they're just watching the two of them interact, because they did, and they still are to this day very close friends. And they met in the audition of Bill and Ted. So like from that day forward, they've been friends,
they just
and fairly close friends. Yeah.
And you can tell with their chemistry, right? They just have,
God, yes, and that's what he said. And
have chemistry together. It's just
Chris and Ed just watched them for like a half hour while they were eating, and then they ran over across the way to the production studio, and they're like, "We just saw these kids that are Bill and Ted." And lo and behold, they actually had already auditioned, so they're like, it was just like a fate at that point that these guys play. But the funny thing is Alex was actually cast as Ted.
Yeah.
And Keanu was cast as Bill.
Yeah.
And they actually wore each other's wardrobe in the movie.
All right. Well, thing is, would that have made any difference in the end?
It does in the end, because, and the writers say that they would like to take credit for it, but they don't know who came up with it exactly. But it was one of those things that when they decided, it was at the last minute. It's like, really Keanu should be playing Ted and Alex should really be Bill. Just because there is because looking at them from just a broad, they're basically the same character, but they're not.
They're not. See, thank you, Tom. They're not. I agree.
Bill is more aggressive. It's kind of like Beavis and Butthead if you look at him. Bill is more aggressive and forward, and he's a bit more on. He'll take chances.
Those three there are actually really. That's really good.
Yeah, the middle guy, the black guy.
So we can get back to
that. Isn't that Clarence Clemens?
Yes, Clarence Clemens and a few other people. But I was gonna say, go ahead and pause it. But yeah, so like, and Ted, on the other hand, he's basically a Labrador.
Yeah,
he's the most loyalist. And he's the sweetest guy. So they have two completely different personalities, but they also work so well together, and that's the whole point. Right. Like, anyway, but yeah, as you were saying, the most famous people, or the most
famous people in the world. There's Martha Davis, who's in the Motels, and Fee Waybill.
She's from the Go-Go.
Of the Tubes.
You got the and then also,
of course,
too.
And then you got
No,
Joan of
please,
Arc, the
Joan of
chick,
Arc.
Yeah, the
as
Go-Go's.
well.
That's
Yeah.
the girl from the Go-Go's.
So there's a
Yeah.
lot of the music's
The
still
lips
really
are
good in
sealed.
this because it is a music movie. It's music, a rock movie.
So, what's your favorite song on the soundtrack, Tom? Because I know you and I, we practically grew up on this.
I like the Extreme song a lot, but In
Okay.
Time is really fucking good song.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Um,
That's fair. My favorite is the Extreme song. That's my jam. That song just riffs hard for me. So that's I gotta side with Extreme. Love that song.
Two Heads and Better Than One is a pretty good song, but it's kind of a weird song when you listen to the lyrics.
I like The Boys and Girls Are Doing It. It's written
That's
by
a good one
Frankie.
too.
Written by Frankie Miller, a great Scottish artist.
The whole soundtrack is pretty good. That's
It's
the
a
thing.
kick-ass movie. Yeah,
I gotta no, it's a good song. I gotta get on vinyl. That's why I'm asking because it's definitely one I want on wax. Probably plays
George
beautifully.
Washington, dollar bill guy.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, father of the country.
Yeah,
And by the way,
one of the commercials for that, they said George Washington was on. He said, lamenting how he never got picked to go with Bill and Ted, but he expects him to come by any time now. And then he says,
Oh, I didn't
they
see
never
that
do.
one.
Yeah, it's like
I
a
should
movie commercial.
the anima today. What he's talking about turning George Washington into a mushroom. It's something everybody did in America as kids. You grab a dollar bill and you fold it inward. To the top of his head goes to his neck, and it looks like a mushroom. It's
I love
stupid,
that part.
but it's
We see it. What about what does he say at the Hall of Presidents? He says, "Welcome to the Hall of Presidents."
profound movie.
And you gotta love their guys. He's
Missy,
like, I've got a
I mean,
slight
Mom.
Oedipal complex. Yeah.
Twice.
Mom.
He struggles with Missy Mom. I love that Bill's dad is so badass that he freaking scores with Bill's stepmom in Bill's own room. He's like,
Bill's
"Dude,
room.
He totally went
Now
for
we're
it in
going
your
for
own
it
room.
in your own room.
Shut up, man.
And that looks like an Apple IIc computer for all you geeks and nerds that are not.
I wasn't looking
down
at
their
that. I
sweater.
wasn't looking
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
Totally
just
not looking at that.
I was
You're
gonna
not
say,
looking down the
70s knew
sweater.
there was a computer. Was he
There's a
smart?
computer in this scene.
Yeah, see the
That's
Apple
the
II,
difference
that's
between
that looks
nerds
like an
and
Apple
geeks.
IIc to me. It looks like an Apple
Geeks
IIc.
look at the computer. Nerds look at the.
Exactly. I rest my case.
Remember when I asked your mom to prom? Shut
Shut
up, man.
up, Ted. I single-handedly think Missy is responsible for the hole in the ozone layer. Like if you look, like she even talks about it, the making of like how stiff her hair was. Like this
gotta
scene
tell it.
specifically, it like sticks to her fingers and shit. It's got so much hairspray in it.
Oh, that's
And I love telling this story, but I was down, it was like 10 or 12 with my buddy, and we're down fishing, and his mom, it turns out it's his mom, ruined the punchline, but this woman jogs by. Back in the 80s, you wore spandex, and she was from Swedish background, and just say she was like a 12, and the guys are like drooling. The older guys are drooling over her, and they're like, "Holy shit! Look at this!" she looked like Bo Derek jogging, and so and he's like, "That's my mommy." Then so he goes. My buddy goes back. And then the kid goes back. He's like, "Hey, kid, you got any sisters?" But we'd always get pissed off. We're like, "Crap!" Or like, his mom is always the hottest girl at all our parties. It was so bad.
So it's like Stifler's mom.
Oh my god! But she, Stifler's mom times 20. I mean, just
Have we ever done
look like a
American Pie on
supermodel.
here?
We have not yet.
Are you shitting? Why is it every time? How can you not have done American Pie?
Oh, trust me. When we do, I'm sure we'll focus on the scene where Jason Biggs fucked up pie for 20 minutes alone.
Yeah.
Which version? Which version?
Oh, that's a Shasta.
Oh
Cola
God,
back there.
we'll
Shasta.
talk. We'll
That's
talk
old can,
theatrical and unrated. There's no way we can't.
It's your mom,
Yeah.
dude.
That's
We're
that
totally
game, I guess.
destined to flunk egregiously, and I'm destined to end up at Oates Military Academy. Good.
Look at the dad looking at her skirt, looking at her ass there. I love it.
Well, who wouldn't? I mean, come on.
And her burnt ass fucking grilled cheese. She can't even fucking cook grilled cheese.
No,
Yeah. They don't
I think
care.
I
They'll
would
eat it.
forgive
Just
her.
the little things in this movie. They went so into the detail, the little detail. And it feels like such a built world. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it exists in its own place. It's just and that's why I think the animated series, at least the first season, was so good.
Mhm.
And I mean, we'll get into the sequel maybe when we talk about the sequel, but I mean,
Hey, next week.
or yeah,
Well, did you ever? Because obviously, I caught this movie a few years after it came out. Were you able to try the cereal when it was new? Because it drives me nuts.
Yes.
I'll never be able to have the cereal. Was it any
oh,
good?
it was good. It was good. It was a lot.
There was a lot
Oh!
of marshmallows in that one, right?
Yeah, it was a lot like Alphabets with marshmallows
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
so
trying
it
to
wasn't
remember,
anything
yeah,
that spectacular,
I
but
just wanted Bill and Ted's cereal.
they always had cool toys. Like they used to have like a cassette case
Uh-huh.
and some other things, and always had some fun stuff that came with it. Yeah.
Damn. I just want some Bill and Ted cereal with my Bill and Ted movies. Come on. Is that too much for a man to ask for? Some Bill and Ted cereal? Yeah. For me, between this and Wayne's World, I mean, I think you figure out where a lot of my talk comes from and the personality of movies comes from. Is basically these two movies kind of like I have them basically linked in my brain and drilled in to my brain cells between the whoa and excellent. I mean, this movie really, and then you throw in the TMNT 1990 movie in a
That
blender, and then along comes a Nick Weiser.
That smile that Keanu has for this movie, though, like
It's so innocent.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He is that little Labrador, right? Like that. He's so loyal.
No, it just work here.
And that's the official score of Phoenix right there.
Here's the male
Circle
swing
K.
before swing.
And that's one thing that the writers always said, that like in the sequels, they always tried to, if it wasn't just they would try to make them rehash the original, they would try to split Bill and Ted up somehow. And they said that, no, Bill and Ted are like your dog. They will never break up with you. So Bill and Ted will never break up. Right? Like that was like one of their rules. Like, no, like no matter, because every time they was like, oh, they break up and this, and that's why, no, that's not what Bill and Ted are. No.
We don't need that at all. I agree. We don't need that at all. That's just unnecessary. Let the bros be bros and not have to have that type of conflict.
Well, because the conflict is them being separated, right? Like that's the anxiety here, is that they might be separated because Ted will go to military school. And this is hilarious because only a few people noticed it like years later that Rufus never, ever, ever introduces himself to Bill and Ted.
No, he doesn't.
Bill and Ted introduced Rufus to Bill and Ted.
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever noticed it or not, or if it's just one of those little.
Oh, it's a nice loop, isn't it?
It is kind of like does it?
It's a sweet loop. Which means that really this whole thing is in a closed time loop.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll
And you
just
guys
endlessly repeat.
Hey, dude, what number am I thinking of? 69.
And that, of course, is one of the jokes that the writers hate, I guess, because the original joke is the one that's in part 2. If you're really me, how many fingers am I about to hold up?
I just remember being in high school and any opportunity I could write 69 on anything. Well, you can imagine I did.
Well, yeah.
I related to the 69 immediately with that. I was just like, 69, dude.
They're seniors in high school. Of course, that's the first number that comes to their head. If you're not a stoner, I mean, really.
And the other piece of trivia I found out, getting ready for this movie was the writer, Chris Matheson. Anyone know who? Well, I'm sure Tom knows, but anyone guess who his father was? If you're a Star Trek fan, you would you know that's Richard Matheson, who wrote a lot of Twilight Zone episodes, some great Star Trek, and
Didn't you write
so that's his dad.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Yep, it was a fantastic, amazing science fiction writer. Yep. Incredible Shrinking Man, Omega Man, some amazing stories. I mean, just one of the all-time great sci-fi writers.
Omega Man is, the last man on Earth.
Yeah.
So
Outer Limits.
He wrote a book about comics and culture, The Incredible Shrinking Men.
Yeah.
He did, and that was before they were born.
Or you guys, were you, dude? No way. No. Yes,
Wait,
way.
yes, way.
So he wrote The Enemy Within in Star Trek.
Yes.
Season 1,
Great
episode
writer,
5.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
One of my favorite writers.
Yeah.
Even did a
Are
little
you
video
sure?
about
That's
Why
his
Why
son,
would we
yeah.
lie to ourselves?
Why?
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh, that
so
had me
good.
We were
dying.
lying.
I still haven't thought this day.
We all lie to ourselves, though. See, this
Yeah.
movie is so philosophical.
How are you?
And Bill is just slightly smarter than Ted.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
slightly.
little
Emphasis
bit.
on slightly.
Kind of like Beavis and Butthead, where Butthead is just slightly smarter than
Slightly
Beavis.
more self-aware.
God, I had what a time. I had Wayne's World, Beavis and Butthead, and
Gentlemen.
Bill and Ted.
We're history.
Man, what I didn't realize how good I had it with all these pairings of dudes who were into cool tunes, who totally just had like their own distinct lingo, and they all just had memorable movies and shows. Just absolutely
Welcome
delightful.
to the circuits of time, gentlemen.
Yeah, and those special effects. Man, that looks like 80s. Like
This is original CG from the 80s. This is what it looked like.
Oh God, yes, yeah. This is total. Actually, I think a lot of this is cell animation, to be honest with you, but it's probably a mix.
the cell shade animation.
Yeah, just plain old cell animation, probably.
Oh my God, look at that shot with that glass.
Actually, I
case.
think I think it was actually done with some early CGI shit.
Now, see, that shot looks good of it. That shot looks I like that shot.
Considering
big
what they
old-
had for this movie, they did a pretty good job of selling it. And what's funny is it probably has more special effects than Back to the Future, yet Back to the Future is the one that's considered more of a special effects film.
Speaking of Back to the Future, I gotta catch the replay of it. But do you see that the Critical Drinker talked to Tom
did.
Wilson, sir? Tom
Saw
Wilson?
that, yeah, I
Biff?
saw that. I haven't watched
Dude.
it yet, but I saw it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta catch the replay of that. But dude, holy awesome, man.
Okay, so this bit here actually is kind of funny.
Okay.
So Dino De Laurentiis, he speaks English, but he's not real good at reading English. So he'll have somebody translate scripts for him. And when he was reading this, or after he got done reading this, he got all upset and he was trying to figure out, he's like, this makes no sense. It making no sense. Why is the war in San Dimas? And they're like, what do you mean? The war, it's in San Dimas. What is going on here? So there was like, this was going on and it got mixed up with the world of San Dimas, because that's the way Chris and Ed had called it whenever they would come back to the modern time.
Mhm.
So like I would say exterior world of San Dimas, whatever. So when every time it said world of San Dimas, it would say they returned to the war in San Dimas.
Oh, okay.
And so he was confused as fuck.
What
He's like,
war?
why is everybody at war in San Dimas? And finally they figured out what the hell was going on and they explained, like, no. But yeah, it was just like, that was just like where he's just so confused by it. He was just like, I don't understand why there's this war.
Don't think about it too much. Just go with it. It'll work out.
Raphael, had to explain it to him, of course.
I
She's
like that.
no, Papa, it's a world of San Dimas, not war.
Usually Hollywood, this is a historical problem. This is obviously not a newer phenomenon, but historically, when they get young, older actors to play young characters, it's nice that Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter were actually really close to the ages of playing high schoolers. Granted, it's still like 4 or 5 years off, but it's at least a lot closer than, let's just say, 27, 28, 32. Like, let's just say Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. He was nearly 30 when he first played Spider-Man, playing a high schooler. We got guys like Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter actually being a lot closer to the age of playing a high schooler. So I do appreciate that they actually try to stick to guys who look, sounded, and acted like probably 80s high schoolers. I mean, now, did they talk like this in high school, Tom? Like this in 87, 88?
Some of the words.
Some words.
Depends
okay.
on what. It depends on what group you're in too, right?
That
'Cause,
too,
in high
yeah.
school, you had we had the metalheads, the dweebs, the geeks, the
Yeah.
street people.
I mean, these guys are more like metalheads kind of at that time ish, mixed
Yeah.
with a little surfer valley like I said, like they are kind of a hodgepodge, and that's kind of how they work. Because like at least a couple of the words and things in the way they speak to each other was similar. But like especially when you get to the second film, like they're literally just making up some of this shit.
I mean, it's over the top. It's a caricature, which makes it so much fun. It's like they create their own language, like you said. It's just like
even like the word station is completely made up by Chris and Ed, and there's actually a funny story that goes with that. I'll tell next week when we get to Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. But
the short dead dude from our history.
It's the short dead dude from our history report. If we were Napoleon and we were in modern times, what would we do? Waterloo.
Who's the kid? That looks like the kid from Stand By Me. I know it's not. But
no.
The kid from
like
Monster Squad.
Nah, I can't. I don't know if I've seen him in it. Yeah, the King Kong. When the King of Kong die, everybody cry.
Dude, look at that!
Nobody cry.
Big gulp cup on top of the dresser.
Big gulp.
Holy crud! Those cups were huge.
Oh, that's the bladder buster, man.
And it's because of this movie why I know about Circle K's.
Yeah, because Circle K is the official welcome station in Phoenix.
Okay.
Something strange.
It's the main store
at the Circle K. Yeah, the Dino dealer at his King Kong poster.
The historical figures, they just gotta go with it. It's like
they do. They don't.
Guys.
Napoleon's the only one that's just kind of like, I have no fucking clue.
They don't have a mental breakdown or anything, or just go with it. Yeah.
I mean, Genghis Khan. It's like he graped most of what he conquered. It's like his DNA is in like.
That's what I love about when they come upon him. He's just like got women all over him, and he grabs the chick, and he just starts.
Oh God! I mean, if you know history, it's but his DNA is in. He was so,
most of us.
Yeah,
he was very busy.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Collection, Tom, from DVD in 05, I think.
I've got all of them, dude.
You got all of them? Oh, man, nice. I got to rebuy the 2005 version. I do plan on buying that. Back in the day when there's FYE, I would, if I was short
I think most of that stuff's been carried over to the Shout Factory Blu-rays, but yeah.
Even that particular version? That particular version's been carried over?
Like all the stuff, has been carried over to the 4Ks as far as I know.
Oh, okay. No, that's good to know. I was gonna say, otherwise I'll just rebuy the DVD version from like eBay if I have to. But man,
what was different about it?
There's nothing different about the movie itself.
Well, it actually had some script notes because I know the writers actually wrote some handwritten notes for the movie, and it was always cool to have, like, them do printed
you could see it.
versions of those things. It was really cool to have. I bet, dude. Right, red shirt. Yeah, Alex.
This is Deputy Van Halen down at the station.
Why is red shirt? Red shirt's in Hawaii, dude.
Oh, that's a good reason not to be here.
Yeah.
Tom, did any of you guys notice that when they're at the police station scene and Napoleon's alone with Missy in the car, that as they're coming out to the car, he moves in to make a move on it?
He's going totally in for a move.
I fucking
love reach out and touch someone. What a line.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, I know. Meow.
Excusez-moi, monsieur. You can't leave yet. You gotta pay. Pay? Yeah, pay, buddy.
Oh, do you know, Tom, about the original title? What this movie is supposed to be called? I think it's supposed to be called Bill and Ted, like Space Van or something.
It had a few different names. Yeah, that they just finally come across. Excellent Adventure just finally stuck. Yeah,
I'm glad. Well, I'm glad they went with Excellent because that's such a cool, like, instantly memorable title. But I think they go with it because I know there's some. They're worried about comparisons of Back to the Future, especially since they're going to have a vehicle that's more centered around a car as well.
And that changed early on, like I said, because Back to the Future came out in 85. They started shooting this, I think, either late 87 or early 88.
87.
Because the movie technically takes place in 88, but it didn't come out till 89 because it sat on shelf for a year. But then it came out, I think, in March of 89, and and it did great. I think it was number one at the box office for a few weeks. I think it grossed over close to, if not over $100 million at that time. I think it was. It was kind of the movie that kicked off the '89 movie season, because that year was one of the big years of the '80s when we talk about, there's a lot of great films in the '80s, but '82, '84, and '89 are the 3 years that really stand out for like a lot of the movies that we still talk about today, still get sequels today and all that kind of business.
Yo,
So,
dudes, you want to hear something that's going to make all four of you go, whoa? And you should when I say it. Yesterday was the exact day Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure hit the cinema in theaters on February 17th.
Oh, it was February.
1989.
Okay. That's close.
So 36 years in one day should make you go, whoa. Just say, whoa. Come on.
And I do remember seeing this thing on cable quite a bit. Like when it did hit cable, it was on a lot.
Ooh, we got a $5 super chat from the Dead Man. Nick, I just got done watching the Three Amigos for the first time in a long time. Good to see classic comedy. I agree.
Well,
that's what we still gotta do.
Well, Dead Man, Nick has given you a plethora of gifts.
Well, we're infamous. What does that mean? More than famous.
What you win, I keep. What I win, I keep. Sounds good, Mr. the Kid. Mr. the
Dude,
Kid.
you gotta have a poker face like me. Whoa, 3 aces. Are you cheating us?
I like how his face, he just started right away showing off face. I was like, oh, so much for that poker face, Bill. Cheating. Me? Oh.
They just sit there. I love this whole bit here.
I love how they get their heads tossed into the wall, and they don't even care that they just got tossed to the wall. They just like that they saw women. They're just okay with the fact that they saw women. Oh, whoa, look at that. And then they got to take it right back.
Which sucks in some of the old pan, depending on which pan and scan version you see, because you miss a joke there because Ted keeps trying to stick his head back in the wall.
Yeah.
You see it plain as day in the widescreen. That's what I say. If you haven't, it's in the movie, it's in the widescreen, but if you see it in full screen, because the action's taking place over on the right side of the screen, you got Bill on the one side, and then Ted turns around and he tries sticking his head back in there, and Billy pulls him out or whatever it is. So, yeah. It's kind of like with Ghostbusters, where if you see a certain pan and scan versions, like Egon and Rick Moranis are cut out of most of the move versions because they're off to the left or the right.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up right here, and I'm sure I got that clip. Yeah.
There's
no nudity in that, was there?
No. This was a very, very light PG movie.
The
worst thing in the movie is the F word, and even that nobody gave a shit. And that was worse than the FAG word back then. Dillweed is actually what I think he calls him. But
PG as well.
Oh, no, he does say dickweed. You're right.
But but guys, we talked about it before. You'd use the FAG word. You'd say that like to guy, like it did. It was just like you're an a-hole kind of.
You can even say it on TV, like no problem.
It was in the parlance back then.
Yeah.
Oh, they're pretty cute for old ladies.
That sounds really gay. Look at their faces. Oh, whoa! This is way too straight for the show. I don't know if I can allow this.
It's like winning. I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have one speed. I have one gear. Go.
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
I was gonna say you gotta back it up to see.
All feels balanced now. Now I feel a little straighter now.
Okay, so watch Ted here now.
Okay.
Because he pulls the boys out.
Yeah,
Bill's over here. So Bill's over on the one side, and then he goes back in, and Billy pulls him out.
that was him. Yeah. So that's him getting pulled out. Yeah.
Come on.
Because I think the other bad guys come up at the same time. So like in the pan and scan version, it's all pushed to the left or right or whatever. I think you got it flipped here or whatever. But we totally can't fight you.
Look, it's a Goodyear blip. I bought the Goodyear blimp.
You know, it's funny because Back to the Future stole this joke in part 3, remember? Not the Goodyear blimp part, but what the hell is that?
Is the name of the bar the same too, or something?
I don't know. They might. Wow, I don't know if it's the same, but like,
just the name. I think the name of the bar was the same.
It might be the same set.
Be, yeah.
I don't see. This is a set that's. I think this is one of the few. They may. I don't know if they shot this in California or not. Because this is this might be
Arizona.
Is it Arizona? Yeah, because it's a pre-bit. It's like this little town they have there. So like all the extras that are in the set there are actually the people that work at this Western town. So like you can go there. You used to be able to go. I don't know if it's still open or not.
There were 3 of them. Yeah, all 3 of them are still there. One is right outside of Superstition Mountain. The others are between Phoenix and Tucson.
All right,
Captain. A lot of TV shows and movies there.
From Captain Have Fun, what's up, buddy? He just became a dad recently. If you guys like Bill and Ted, get their NECA figures. They come in a phone booth. So I put my Doctor Who figures in front of them, scanning the phone booth with their sonic screwdrivers.
Nice.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Very
I
cool.
gotta find out if they're good because I was seeing some mixed things on the NECA figures, but I will at least look into it because that's got my attention.
So would you call yourself a necrophiliac?
What? What
Those are the ones that I have. They were out a long time ago. I don't even know how much they are anymore.
Oh,
and then Incendium did a version of figures too.
Oh, I'm gonna embiggen you. Oh,
this one
dude.
here, but they did all of them for all the movies for
dude.
Both.
I love how it's got the comic thing on the top left corner too.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that.
That's
so
nice.
bad.
Yeah.
They're a little chintzy as far as quality, but
you gotta slip that in my box. Oh my god. All right. Mo Zamboni, what's up, dude? Welcome to Toxic Tuesday. He says for $2, worst pan and scan scene, Ghostbusters in the elevator.
And the library scene is fucking horrible too. Because there's so much going on in that scene. Depending on which version you're watching. Yeah, like the television version was a different pan and scan than the VHS version. And yeah.
And I try to watch the movies and, the regular. And back in the VHS days, people would yell at me like, but I don't want to see what the black bars. I'm like, you're missing half of the freaking movie. I don't want to watch this.
My dad would never understand that.
Yeah, they couldn't comprehend it. It's like, I don't want to see the black bars.
One of the scenes, though, that I showed him that convinced him because they actually had the full screen version and the widescreen version of Ghostbusters 2 on DVD, not the first one. The first one was just widescreen, but the second one had both. And I showed him the scene where it says, all right, guys, we're sucking your guts, we're the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
If you watch the pan and scan version, it has to pan through all 3 of them.
What?
Yes, because you can only fit one of them on screen at a time.
It's too tight. It's too tight, yeah.
And I showed him the difference. He's like, I don't care. I still get the same thing. I'm like, no, but don't you see the difference?
Socrates, the only true wisdom consists in knowing that you know nothing. That's us, dude.
Is that Kamala Harris? Did anyone see Kamala Harris at the New York play last week? Like,
no longer burdened.
Did you hear she's apparently now part of the Hollywood agency?
Oh my god! It was every time someone posted like, "We dodged a bullet."
Yeah. I don't know who. Like now we have to think in retrospect, who dodged a bigger bullet, us or Trump? I don't know. Seriously, maybe we all
of us.
For real, man.
And what 80s kid didn't get this joke here, though? Sorry, the
Socrates.
Yeah, like 3 hours of the hourglass. Like the sand in the
Opera,
hourglass.
yeah. So that's the soap opera, Days of Our Lives. And this Socrates was actually on Days of Our Lives as well as Missy the Mom. She was an actress on Days of Our Lives. And that, after school, all the I'm stereotyping, yes. All the girls.
Stereotype, Mark. You can do it.
Stereotype away. It's Toxic Tuesday. The girls would watch the freaking soap operas. And who was the other popular show on ABC was Diane. Oh, I'm forgetting the names, but like it's in the popular culture back then. Bless you. That was on General Hospital.
The Young and the Restless.
Luke and Laura in General Hospital, like the thing.
Yeah, yes, we heard that, and it was magnificent, Tom. It was glorious.
The mics are busted on Streamlabs.
What the fuck?
What do you mean
I'm
it's
not
busted?
joking. Last week when we were on this show, the guys who were here can verify that, right, Mark and Backdoor Gary?
Oh, it wasn't working.
Oh,
the
you
muting?
were here. I learned
wasn't
this
there.
the hard way on the comic shop. I had to do like a hardcore sneeze, and all of a sudden everyone heard it. I was like, "What?" And I checked. I'm like, "I swear I turned my mic
Well, I was
off."
gonna say I fucking muted the burp. What the fuck?
I muted
I hear
the
you
fart.
say an asshole. Yeah,
Could
Well,
you hear me?
yeah,
Hey,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
I can hear you.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Fuck,
Wow,
that's dumb.
that's bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We
I'll
can
have
hear
to
you.
reach out to stream. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear you. I'll have to reach
That's
out to
fucking
Streamlabs, like, hey,
crazy.
Yeah.
who should
God,
we
that's a
get
pretty
for
bad thing not to
medieval?
work.
How about that gnarly old goat dude? Oh, look at that. Blade Nicotera for $5 says towards the goal. Thank you. No, dude. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the $5 to get me to Vegas. I greatly do appreciate that, guys. Seriously, absolutely huge, huge, huge. Thank you. And hello, Apollome's minion. I'm in love, dude. We gotta go. It's a history report, not a
Those
babe
are some
report. Those are
historical babes.
babes.
Now, for those of us that were teenagers in the 80s, that's Diane Franklin. And she was one of the
Oh.
hottest brunettes.
She's not
in
better off
movies at the
dead.
time.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love her in that movie. She's also awesome in The Last American Virgin.
Plus,
For
she's
some
amazing
reason-
at fixing old Camaros too. I mean, God, I'd love for her to
Canon
do
film.
that.
Isn't that a Canon movie, or am I thinking of something different?
Yeah, it's a canon film.
It's a Canon film. Yeah.
For some reason, they
American Virgin.
recast the girls in the sequel, but yeah,
Yeah, they didn't bring them back, and I never understood
in
that.
both of the sequels, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
And by the way, if you guys didn't know this, they are
I'm
currently
Darth
working
Ted.
on another Bill and Ted movie right now.
Yeah, I've heard.
What? A fourth one?
Yeah.
With the chicks? With the chicks or with the
Nah,
kids?
it'll
It'll
it's
involve the
supposed
whole
to be.
family.
Yeah. I'm not as looking forward to as much. I think the last one was fine, and that was all
Bill?
they needed to do.
What? These are heavy. Yeah.
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Take them to the Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden? Excellent. Execute them. Bogus.
You know, I was conflicted when I was getting ready for the show tonight. I'm like, do I want to wear my Iron Maiden shirt or do I want to wear my Bill and Ted shirt? It was tough, so I went with the Bill and Ted shirt. So, but
Why didn't you wear both? You could have worn both.
I could have worn both, but you know what? Here, I'm gonna big myself here, but
It's totally bodacious.
Wild Stallions. I want that shirt, man. That's awesome.
yeah, it's pretty badass. I love this
His
shirt.
bowling shirt.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
night, Penny. Penny said good night.
thanks for being here, Penny.
Don't
Appreciate
be
it.
dead, dude.
Keanu Reeves is the only man who looks older without. I kind of actually agree. I see him clean shaven, which I get it why he did for Bill and Ted, why he shaved because his character is normally clean shaven. But I was like, whoa, he did. I felt like he did look younger in John Wick with the beard. I strongly agree with that statement. But oh, dude, the classic. You better have that clip saved for Rumble of when they hug each other and go Figs. There's
Figs,
no
yeah.
way we don't not play.
All
that.
right, we can do it for. I didn't clip it yet, but we can do it for Rumble. Yep.
Dude. No, we have to. It's just an
You killed
absolutely
Ted, you medieval dickweed.
yeah. Iron Maiden, excellent.
Excellent.
For $5 from TZ Burton. Thank you, TZ. You are a gentleman and a scholar. You guys are coming in hot tonight.
That shot, that
Yeah.
line, the Iron Maiden thing, was in every fucking trailer for this
Mm.
movie.
As it should. It's Iron Maiden.
I think that's how most people learn that the Iron Maiden is a torture device. And not a
Yes,
band.
yes.
Also the nickname for
That's
Margaret
funny.
Thatcher.
That's how I learned it was a torture device. Because to me, Iron Maiden was just always a band. To me, I was just like, hold on. Iron Maiden actually means something?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a name that sounded cool. I don't know. It's like,
Medieval
Ironically,
torture
Brian,
device.
The
The
name
era
of,
that knew how to torture you the
Margaret
best.
Thatcher's-
Yeah.
The name of Margaret Thatcher's vagina is Torture Box.
Iron
oh,
Maiden.
oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I met her once.
Oh.
Yeah, so here's a picture of a real Iron Maiden. Just where to go.
Who?
My
Sarah
goggle
Jessica
has been screwing
Parker?
up lately here. Every time I go to see a show an Iron, come on, Google.
Are you showing
what
the
you doing?
device? Are you showing
device?
Eddie the mascot?
No, the real Iron Maiden. Yeah, I'm sure everyone knows by now. But yeah, here's.
Well, yeah,
here's
I know by now.
Iron Maiden. Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know what Iron Maiden was the band. I
You
thought,
get
right?
really good.
Also,
sleep in
you're
that,
like
you
me.
know.
You thought it was just the band too. You're just like me.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know until I had
Iron
this movie
Maiden,
taught me what Iron Maiden actually is. To me, it
You
was
get
just
a
always
really
the band.
nice night's sleep in there. I think it's nice and
Yeah.
dark.
So
very
they
cozy.
put you
Very
in there
cozy.
and cozy pal. What?
Very cozy Paul.
Gary would have liked to have been touched by those pointy thingies, right, Gary?
Oh, we missed the
Yes.
maiden. I should go back. Oh, she was so cute
my
back
God.
then.
Well,
I
yeah,
didn't
they
think
have a
so.
song on the record called Iron Maiden, where the lyric is "Iron Maiden can't be stopped" because it was sung by Paul Di'Anno. But once again, by the way, R.I.P. Paul Di'Anno,
R.I.P. Paul. Yeah,
because he did that album in Killers. Oh man,
he
what a
was
legend!
awesome. Yeah,
I got actually Ironcaster. I got him finally on the Maiden wagon. He has been listening to Power Slave as he should. And he's like, okay, this album absolutely rules. The title track, Power Slave, is one of the best freaking metal songs ever. It's not even close. There's no debates.
wouldn't disagree with you.
And what is this message you speak of? Lyrics, dude. Recite them some lyrics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is perfect. It's so good. I mean, right? I mean, way to go. I mean, they're not going to know the freaking lyrics in the past here.
Well, here's the thing. They were honest. They're like, you know what? Hey, we got to get our piece of paper out because we don't actually know it by heart. But if you listen to our voice, we'll make it feel like it has meaning to it.
And this is actually a joke that works better in the second film when they're in heaven. And he's like, what is the meaning of life? Every rose has a thorn.
well, they didn't use dust in the wind, so they had to use
Yeah.
roses and stuff.
Just like every night has its dawn.
Yeah,
Just like
What's
every
that doing?
cowboy sings a sad.
How's it going,
Sad,
Royal
sad
Ugly Dudes?
song. Every rose has its thorn.
I'm the Earl.
The sequel
of
is so
Preston,
good.
and
Yeah.
I am the Duke
They
of
Melvin
Ted.
me.
Duke of Ted. It's just
All
like
right,
the
chat.
Duke of Earl.
Just a heads up, because there's 40 plus of you on YouTube. Put them in the Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden. Excellent. In 13 minutes, we are going to transition. You heard that
Oh,
correctly.
yes.
We are going to transition to Rumble exclusively. So we're at we'll let the rest of the slideshow play out into Rumble exclusively. And from there on Rumble, we will play actual video clips from the movie on Rumble, up to and including the infamous Fig clip.
Fig Newton.
And I know
Fig
Mark,
Newton?
he probably got that clip in the Iron Maiden clip at the very minimum.
I'm working on that right now.
Yeah, see, he's
I'm
already
earning
working
my
on his
keep
clips
here.
and tips for us. That's a real man. He works on his clips and his tips for us in advance. So we'll be able to play it all there in Rumble. So I will pop the Rumble link in the chat so that way you can transition with us in 12 minutes when we're ready. So here is that link. So, dude, well, that's the thing. I've already come out. I just get to come out now every time, which is great. This time I got 4 men to come out with me for it. It's great. And one of them's
also-
already in the back door.
One of the girls.
Priorities out.
What back door?
I said, do I count? Because I was already out.
Yeah, that's true. If anything,
You
have
can be
everyone in-
fluid.
I think Geary's coming through the wrong mic.
I think he is.
Yeah,
Well, thanks
You're
for
not
letting me know
entering-
now.
you're not entering the right
using-
way.
He's using the wrong device again.
I
Sounds like
think you
you're on
gotta
the
figure out
webcam.
what hole to put it in.
He always fucks up.
There's so many holes, especially with fat guys.
Those are folds. They're not holes.
Oh, God,
yeah.
no, gross stuff.
Potato, man.
So great. Bye, babes. Catch you later, evil dude.
You know, they do actually go to prom, but it got cut from the movie.
No.
All right, let me.
The
all right.
ending changed too. When we get to that, I'll explain all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't they? There's a wedding scene or something they cut. Or,
No, they went to prom.
Oh, they went to
but,
prom. Okay.
Yeah, but they also the ending was completely different. It wasn't completely different, but it was different in how it was presented. But I'll explain when we get there because we got a little ways to go yet.
Well, I know we got ways to go. We also got to explain. Apparently, there's also different variation of how they did the assignment too, which we'll have to get into as well.
That's kind of probably the same thing we're talking about.
Oh, okay. So we're on the CA. We might be on
I
the
think
same
we are.
page.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
And actually,
Oh, 70s favorite animal.
Yeah, there we go.
What are you
And
talking
some
about?
of the other when I asked Ed when I interviewed him, which you can watch the video on Midnight's Edge. I asked him which ones didn't make the cut. Of course, like which
sexy babes.
historical figures. And he said, "Oh, of course, there was a few that didn't." And he goes, "But the one that was pretty much in every version up till near the end was Hitler."
I was wondering that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. The Hitler version.
And he goes, "The problem with it was," he goes, "we couldn't justify the boys taking him home after the fact."
That's true.
Oh God.
Just lose him in time.
Hitler having ice cream with that one.
Oh no, that's funny. That's the other joke. Okay, so one of the other ones was Amelia Earhart, but they lose her in the Circuits of Time.
Oh God.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Does my mic sound better now?
Yes, you do.
You still look horrible though.
Yeah, that didn't fix your looks.
That didn't
not
fix
at all.
anything.
Well, he looks like a bearded. I mean, hey, it's hard to change when you're a bearded lesbo. So
I'm a bearded, fat, old lesbian.
You look more and more like Rosie O'Donnell every day, or does Rosie O'Donnell look more
I'm
like
trying.
you every day?
I'm trying. Well,
Weird.
she's older.
Weird.
She's older, so.
Do you see that
look
meme
like
the
her.
other day that said, "Do you ever thought in the future Rosie O'Donnell would look better than Madonna?" They were showing
Oh,
side by side but Madonna
Yeah, I
with all
saw
the
that.
plastic surgery. It's kind of crazy. Oh, and since we're getting transitioning soon, I should also mention that the one of the actors in the in the sequel that played Billy's kid. So that was in Bill and Ted Face the Music. One of the daughters actually transitioned now, so I don't know if they could still play.
Oh, are you
the daughter.
kidding me?
No,
Oh,
Billy.
that one was
Billy
already.
Logan
What
is
the
now Jack Haven.
Oh my
The act.
They
the
ruin
actor.
everything.
Yep. So she's Jack Haven now.
Well, I hate to tell you guys this, but all the people that make this shit is woke as fuck.
Oh,
There's
no,
some
I-
stuff that we cut out of our interview with Ed. That yeah.
I'm not aware. Outside of Keanu Reeves, yes, you're absolutely right.
And Alex Winter is.
Oh, I know.
horribly
Oh,
woke.
I know. He's capitalized on that.
In fact,
shite.
I've heard stories of people that have worked with him that he's so like Mark Hamill woke.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yes.
Did you see Mark Hamill's pants fall off the other day?
Yes.
What?
Because
What?
Tom shared it, and I fucking cracked up laughing when I saw it tonight.
Did you see our thumbnail for tonight? That was great.
Oh,
I gave him
he
rainbow
must
colored
not
boxer
know.
shorts.
Yeah, funny.
That's great. You've not seen the recent photos of how Madonna
God,
looks in
yeah.
her day compared to
Oh, my
Roseanne
God.
Barr. Mark has
Oh.
a point. That was no joke. That was no joke. If you
Yeah,
had
let me see
told
if I
me
can
in the
find it.
90s, I would have never believed it. But here we are 30 years
Here we
later.
go.
And
I
it's,
got it. It's
it's
coming up.
Oh, he's got okay, he's gonna get
Cover
it
your
up for
eyes.
you.
Yeah. Cover your eye. Let's see if I click on this. Let's see.
All right.
Here we
Please
go.
get
Here we
it
go.
up.
Let's just...
All right.
Where'd it go?
Okay, to the left is Roseanne, to the right is Madonna.
Yeah. Let the world know 2020 that Roseanne Barr be better looking than Madonna. I mean, it's
I would never believed it,
That's true. isn't
Seriously.
it, though? Yep.
but
Yeah.
a fucking weird ass timeline, man.
Yeah.
I said many times before, I hope they make movies on the 2010s, 2020s, because we can cover every genre with this crazy time. You could do a great horror movie, a great drama, great action, great everything, all of it. Seriously, you could cover all the bases with how wacky this timeline is. I mean, this is basically a Wild Bill and Ted timeline Dude,
Yeah.
where are we going? I don't know. Oh, and then the infamous ice cream. Yeah, see, I can't imagine Hitler having ice cream, being all enjoying about. That would have been kind of funny. I mean, we do get YouTube clips of a Hitler reacts to insert new thing at the time, and those never get old. I wonder if Hitler ever reacted to the
There's the
third
other
Bill and Ted.
picture.
Oh, dude.
Madonna looks like a gray alien.
Oh.
Roseanne's not bad looking there.
She's all right. Yeah.
I'd bang her.
Well, we know you'd bang anything.
I was gonna say, I think she'd bang you.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean much.
if it gets wet, if it gets wet, I will.
Are you going to the water slide?
Oh,
The glass. The glass. Napoleon did like ice cream in real life, actually.
Oh, man.
And historically speaking, he was
Wasn't that
actually
part of the
average
joke?
height, and the British were the ones who propagated the lie of him being short.
I don't know. I've seen Time Bandits, and he's pretty
fuck
short
you,
in that.
Brian. You and
He's
Time
pretty
Bandits.
short in that.
Time
Just a
Bandits is
tiny
historically
little-
accurate.
That time, I heard you coming.
As the
It
waiters
made a
here.
popping sound. That's what it did.
Did they have ice cream in Napoleon's Day?
They did, yeah. It was
I didn't know
in Italy. Yep, they had ice cream.
They
Yep.
called
What's
it.
his name? What's the name for Napoleon in Italy?
Frenchman.
seriously.
Waterloo. I was a Ziggy Piggy.
He probably he conquered most of Italy as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Look
I
at
got
Gelato. They had the gelato, I guess.
gelato.
I couldn't
Gelato.
remember.
The
That's it.
good stuff.
Oh, you got a big present here. Man.
Lagasse.
Oh, whoa.
I think somebody wants a reach around.
Ziggy
Dude,
Piggy,
that's-
Ziggy Piggy.
Ziggy
Holy
Piggy. Yeah, we should
shit,
all do that
holy
together.
Batman. That
Huge! It's gigantic. Gigantic.
There's no sense in going off half-cocked.
Oh my God, the cock.
Sexual discrimination.
wow, Blade Nicotera for $20. God damn. He says, "Is there any good NY style pizza in Illinois? I can only find good tavern style or deep dish." Now, are you on Twix or do you follow my YouTube community posts? Because put in the chat if you ever catch my community posts. Because I haven't had a place, but I heard of a good place, and I will happily follow up with the link with that by tomorrow morning. Let me know if you catch my post, because I have a place. I gotta get the name of it, but I've heard good things. Obviously, running the show, I can't really look at it now, but I heard of a good New York place. It's supposed to be in actual Chicago, not like a suburb of Chicago, but it's supposed to be in Chicago. If you let me know, please let me know in the chat. I'll be happy to answer for you. It's just I gotta get the name because I don't know, but you give me the time to look for it, and I will definitely get it for you, my friend. Trust me when I say you can count on me to get it up, and I will follow through. So if not, just reach back to me in the comments. If you don't catch the community posts, I don't know if you follow me on Twix or just comment here next week on Toxic Tuesday or on Cobby's Comic Shop, and I will follow up with you. But trust me, I will get this place for you. And I heard good things. It's got good scores and all from, let's just say, dudes that I value with their pizza opinions. One of them being Mr. Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports. Oh, Mo Zamboni, now you're showing yourself how new you are around here when you say it plays a bunch of suggestive clips. This is probably the most homoerotic show on YouTube. I mean, that's why we have Backdoor Gerry here. I mean, in this show here, we're really true to ourselves. And
I smell horse shit. It's horrible. But I can smell it.
Smell that shit, baby!
Like, I don't know if it's gay unless you like make eye contact while there's the blowjob. Blowjob's not that gay.
Wow. He was really
No, blowjob's pretty fucking gay.
Yeah, it's pretty damn gay. But dude,
I
this is
think
probably my
only
favorite
thing
guy
is-
that they picked up was the Genghis Khan.
I love this.
I love how he destroyed the shit out of that sports store. No thanks, dude. I just have a minor Oedipal complex.
He totally
Yo.
ravaged China back in the day, and then, as we're told just a few hours ago, totally ravaged whatever sporting goods store. I can't remember the name of it now.
Yeah, and then they said that Genghis Khan's Y DNA chromosome is so common,
Yeah.
0.5% of all men on Earth are descended from him.
Yeah,
because of his conquest.
Now, of course, the guy who plays Genghis Khan you've seen in so many fucking movies.
Yeah,
like Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Big Trouble in Little China, all that shit. And he actually fucked up his ankle making this movie. So this is one of the few times he doesn't get to do all his own stunts.
All right. Guys,
Because I think he
less than 1
slipped on
minute,
the ice, if I remember right, when they were doing the ice rink scene.
transition completes in less than 1 minute right here. So this is where we're gonna just slide through the rest of the clips and the tips and the strips, and we're gonna play some video clips, and it's gonna be diabolically huge. And you'll get to have fun with us. Grab ad-lib and Die Hard when he takes the candy bar. That damn candy bar. So please come transition with us, okay? Less than 1 minute. I see the timer, and it's me great. Yeah, all right. Oh, Napoleon. Oh, I love a Napoleon.
What's the transition here? Is it male to female?
Oh.
No, we're all bottoms now, like you.
Our bottoms.
Napoleon cheese.
Oh, yeah, he had it a whole 143. Oh, damn.
You ditched one of history's most important figures in San Dimas? He was a dick.
That one, that's one of my favorite lines in the movie.
All right, dudes, we are officially going to wrap it up on Rumble. Mecca J with an overall toxic 4, overall 10. I think Jonathan Conroy posted as well. I'm trying to get it before he slip out of here. And we're going to be Rumble exclusive. Shite. I'm missing Jonathan Conroy's. I apologize, Jonathan, because we got to transition quickly. But I'll be able to find, I'll dig for it later, dudes. But yes, come hang out with us on Rumble. It's been diabolically huge. Now let's go Rumble, okay? And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and fuck off.